Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to get right into it, and we are doing our third unsolved case file. This is going to be of Jamie Banks homicide, and there, apparently she is right there. And as normal, what we're going to do, or normal, I say like we've done two previous cases, we're going to go through all of the evidence and then present it to you guys. And then
hopefully solve it tonight.
Hopefully. We're a little tired. He didn't just get off work, but he worked today, and I want to take a nap as I always do.
But we're
going to do this. Okay? So we will be back with this. This seems way shorter. Like the beginning.
Because we know what we're doing now.
Okay. All right. So
the trick is less editing this time.
Yeah. So we'll be back in like 2 seconds to you. Okay. Welcome back. The whole second that you were gone, or not even, because it was the next clip. But I do want to put a trigger warning in here because I didn't know what this case was about. It is about potential suicide and bipolar, depression, a bunch of other mental health issues. So if you have issues or are going to be triggered by that, please click off this video now. But here we'll start breaking down the case. So first, this is our victim, or the person that possibly committed suicide. So right now they're treating it as a suicide, but they're investigating it. So this is, I'm trying to get the light out of the way. Okay, this is Jamie Banks. And this is where she was found. So supposedly at this time she jumped out of a 6-story building, which is a high school, which that's big. I don't know any that are like that. This is the newsroom that she was in, of the Verona's Voice, because it was Verona High School or something like that. There's the newsroom. It was locked upon the police entering, and who unlocked it? I think it was the principal ended up unlocking it, because one of the teachers stood by the door until the principal got there to unlock it, but it was locked. And this is, also the newsroom. And then allegedly, a suicide note written on one of the computers that one of the other students had left on because he was in there prior, the last person in there. And it says, "The pressure was too much. I couldn't take it anymore. Goodbye, Jamie." So there's the alleged suicide note. Can't really see that. And evidence. So she has a $100 bill and a poison bottle and keychains, stop hammer time, and one of the awesome clickable pins, because this case did happen in the 90s.
92.
So if you know those little clickable pins, then you know you were cool. So apparently she was in a play the night before as Romeo and Juliet. She was Juliet, obviously. Well, not obviously, but she was the female, so she played the main character. This is an empty poison bottle, possibly a prop. The $100 bill, it's up for speculation, but supposedly it was given to her for some paint that she had purchased previously on painting something.
She bought the paint for the set.
For the set, okay.
Play.
Of the play, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And a notepad that was in her pocket as well. And the police report says, looks like math, but it's not math. We knew right away it wasn't. So I knew that it was the games. There's the teams, and then there's scores, and it says win out beside them. And then it has other numbers like plus 3.5, plus 4.5, plus 22. I don't know betting and gambling language and terms, but this is what it looks like. The last sentence says, talk to Joey and see what he says. Now it has FUM/QTR, so possibly fumble per quarter, and there's fumbles, the numbers, the breakdowns, and can you see it? Probably not. Can you see? I can't
No,
tell.
it's incredibly.
It's
Fair
glossy paper, so.
Yes.
Yes. So this was an all-school pep rally. So everyone is supposed to be here. They had a state championship football game this same night. Was it this night?
Yep.
But it was this night. So they had a pep rally to celebrate, the pep rallies. What we do in America. I found out that a lot of England and other places don't do that. But anyway, so all the people, now there are 7 people that were not in this picture. And it says, we'll go through the names. Olivia Underwood, Sophie Sunday, Paul Pretness, Marilyn Roberts, Robert Romero, Johnny Roca, and Dr. Gidling, something like that. We do know that Marilyn Roberts took this photo. So she wasn't in the photo, but she was taking the photo. And then the other ones are here.
Good to know. So the story is that Thursday night, Jamie was in the play, and Friday morning the school newspaper came out. She had a terrible review written by a classmate, the editor of the school paper. She was also on the school paper, and so as the bookie of the school who takes the bets, he was on the school paper, and the review basically just said that she did a terrible job and that she had no heart. So the theory is that that's why she committed suicide, because of the bad review. The staff person over the paper is also the school counselor, who said that she had depression and personality issues, mental health issues.
Bipolar, yeah.
And
I talked about suicide.
Yeah, I talked about suicide in the past. And then when we get through all the people, we'll divulge the rest of the story. But that night they had their championship game, so obviously, as she mentioned, this pep rally was at the exact same time, so most of the school was all at the pep rally. And then we talked about everyone else.
So the incident happened at 10:10 a.m. on that Friday morning, on November the 20th. The person that found her was Robert Romero. This is Robert Romero. Okay, there you go.
I think when I hold it down there. Nope.
No, it's over
There we
there.
go.
I had it. Okay, that is Romeo in the school play as well, the night before. He is the one that found her. He was on the first floor washing his hands. That's all that we know on that. He was washing his hands. He heard a scream and a thud, and I guess ran over to him. And he did take 10 seconds to get to her. He did say about 10 to 15 seconds. These are the camera stills from the surveillance video, and it does confirm about at 10 seconds exactly. He finds her, runs up to her, kneels down, places his head over his head, stands up, kind of looks around, but it's only like for a second, and then takes off running to go get help. What else was it about him? He had a thing supposedly going for her understudy, which is going to be Olivia
Underwood.
We'll get to her in a second. He felt that Olivia and him had more chemistry on the set, and he kind of tried to talk the drama teacher, into changing roles for Olivia, or I'll say last names, Underwood instead of Banks. But that wasn't happening. Let's see what else. Anything else on him, really?
No. He was the first to see the body. And then he ran to the auditorium calling for help and grabbed the
gym.
principal and the teacher. Yeah, the gym, sorry. Ran to the gym.
Auditorium comes up later.
Yep.
Okay. Then...
Read that. The newspaper article.
Yeah.
Read that.
Newspaper article basically in there says that she was a great person. Let's see, where did it go? Very well behaved, deeply curious, that'll come up later, and well liked and mature. That's what she was described. The night before her death, she did the Romeo and Juliet. On the back side, because we've learned very early on from the first case that you have to read all newspaper articles, everything front and back. So this one has a review of the football game that night, the same night that she had that she died. Yes, and it's basically saying that the star football person that what's his name?
Johnny Rocco.
Rocco, that basically wins every game. He's all state championship, blah blah blah. That he never fumbles and he's great. Ended up fumbling at least 12 passes. It was the first of 12, dropped passes, and that doesn't typically happen. And he says at the very end, I just felt really empty out there, like I was all alone. I couldn't focus. It was really loud and pressure. Why can I not read? It's the light right now. And the pressure, it was too high. Now, if you go back, the suicide letter said the pressure is too much. So that's kind of, we're putting that into there. Is that, I guess, all that's kind of coming from here?
Yeah, that was what was relevant from there.
And the actual, the bad review. I didn't really read it. I just read the highlighted parts that you had highlighted.
It was mean. It was a high schooler.
So we'll get to him. So the one that wrote the review is Craig Zimmerman. And he had a thing for the victim. I had asked her out that Tuesday before this and her death, and she turned him down, saying that there was another man in her life. So was there anything else on this before I get into him? I mean, it's about the football game as well. Has the other editor or the other reporter.
Yeah.
The other reporters. The bookie. He also wrote a thing about the football game
coming up that night, and basically saying like, oh, they're gonna win and all that.
No, this came out the next day.
No, it came out the same day. This was the morning of.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Whew, everything's the one big thing about this also was that, who is this? Also the reporter.
Johnny Ferrari.
All the names. The reporter also said, now the question is, what are you doing for Thanksgiving break? Because this happened like right before Thanksgiving. And Ferrari said, road trip, baby. Johnny and I are heading to Atlantic City. Johnny is the football player. Okay, now, Craig Zimmerman. Do you want to take over?
Sure. We talked about Craig.
Well...
Yeah, we did.
Is that it?
Yeah, he's the editor. We showed his picture.
Anything else?
Yeah, he was at the pep rally. So he's not a suspect. He didn't witness it.
But it had to have, because he has a witness statement. He did something. No, he just got it.
Yeah,
I guess
they didn't interrogate him. Yeah, they just talked to him because he wrote the paper.
Okay.
But they didn't interrogate him. You read that, right?
This is basically a line of evidence. It did say that she had paint on her left shoe.
Yeah.
And it does show it in the photo. There's some speckled paints from, I guess, painting the set, supposedly.
Yeah, that's consistent with.
I just want to say here, she fell from 6 stories. Looks pretty good.
I just love the fact that apparently the shoe landed
It's
right
just the
next
shoe.
to her.
She just lost a shoe.
Nothing in here tells us that's suspicious because we see from the footage that clearly no one was with her when she fell. So I just think it's funny that the shoe landed next to her.
I didn't check that in these.
But it talks about the empty bottle marked poison. It's my theory that that's just a prop from Romeo and Juliet because they said the bottle was completely empty with no unusual substance or narcotics found. Did you find something?
I did.
What did you find?
Sorry. You said there's nothing suspicious about the shoe. There is. No shoe, 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 no... shoe.
Oh.
Shoe.
He placed the shoe.
No, it was before he got there. They threw it down. Whoever pushed her.
She just found something that we missed.
Sorry.
Well, my first comment was, oh, the shoe landed
I know,
right
right?
next to her perfectly. Okay, let's see who else we got here. All right, Paul Preakness. He is the drama teacher. Head of the play. No one's allowed to question his casting roles. We talked about how Olivia Underwood wants to be Juliet, and Romeo wanted him to be. Wanted her to be from Juliet. He was interviewed. He says he was not at the pep rally because the night before the stagehands were moving one of the stage sets off of stage during intermission and tipped it over and broke the structure. So he skipped the pep rally to fix it so that it'd be ready for that evening's play. And it's mentioned in several witness statements about how all the girls like Mr. Preakness and get along with him very well. It's always mentioned, especially the students love him, especially the girls. And he makes several comments in his witness statement and interrogation about how Jamie had an old soul and seemed 10 years older than he is, and that he started teaching there right out of college, so they grew up together. And
he's 29.
Yeah, he's 29, younger teacher. Kind of leading you down the road of a theory, possibly that
They had something going
maybe they had
on.
something going on. Clearly, he had an interest in her.
She did have a secret relationship. I will say that. They did question him on that, and he was like, "What? What?"
Yeah, he's
What
the only one that
relationship?
didn't seem to know about it until they kept asking, and she finally said that. Well, she did mention it because she said that was why she was perfect for Juliet, because she had her own secret love affair.
Right.
Yeah, that she could pull from. And he's the one that gave her the $100. She bought the paint for the stage set. He gave her the $100 that morning or the
To
night
repay,
before
yeah.
to pay her back for it. Let's see. Lydia Underwood, the understudy. She was on the first floor in the bathroom. Can't remember. Oh, sick. Saying that she was sick. She was hugging the toilet with an upset stomach, possibly something she ate, because suddenly she was better when she was being interrogated. She was the first one to the body after Romero ran off to get the teachers. And so she says that she was in the bathroom sick when she heard a loud scream and then the crash of the body, and looked out and saw Jamie laying on the floor, or Banks laying on the floor. And so then she ran out to go see if she could help, and was there for a brief time before Sophie Sunday shows up. And then they were both there until the teachers come up and take over. She I don't know really much else to say
She
about
was
her.
really jealous.
Yeah.
It seemed like.
Yeah, you can tell from her statement she's very jealous. She's basically always played second fiddle to Jamie. They're both big into acting, and Jamie got the better roles. And she mentions like they're in a typing class, and Jamie got a better score. A 90 on the test that Jamie Banks got 100 on.
They weren't close friends, but they were friends in a way. She did offer to.
She was likely the last person to talk to Jamie before she died, because they were in the second period class together, typing class, and then the pep rally was instead of third period at 10 o'clock, and so she offered to walk with Jamie to the pep rally, and Jamie said turned her down and said that she had to go take care of something first. And that was the last she saw of Jamie.
Yeah. And she did say, she asked what, and she said, "I can't tell you, that'll hurt a lot of people." And there was also,
we should mention that. In the school paper we talked about earlier, we mentioned Jamie was a reporter. She was an investigative reporter. And so her only post in that paper that came out that morning was basically somebody just says, "Apologize for the readers for not posting anything in October, Says, I'm currently concluding a research on a huge expose that is about to shock everyone at the school along with the entire community. It will be the most mind-blowing story of my 4 years of investigative journalism. So that tells you what she was working on.
Yeah, so she was working on an expose that a lot
Obviously
of people would get hurt.
Yeah.
All right, so the second person that arrived at the scene again was Sophie Sunday. She arrived about 10 seconds after Olivia. She was in the on the second floor girls' bathroom because she had spilled soda on her shirt and had a stain, and she was crying about the stain. Went to the bathroom to kind of wash it off. It had mascara in her eyes because she was crying. Heard a thud and ran to the window to see that it was Jamie. She automatically knew it was Jamie, she said, as soon as she saw. And then once she goes into her deposition, or I don't know if it's really a deposition, it's just a interrogation. Well, interview is what they call it, a police interview, where the police are actually talking to her. Otherwise, her written statement says that she went to the bathroom. And then in the interview, she asked, what's her boyfriend's name?
Johnny Roca.
Was Roca in there? And they were like, well, why you ask? Well, what was it? Something like, it was really odd the way she said. So yeah, was Johnny in the picture? And what makes you ask? Well, when I wrote my statement, I didn't say he was with me, but he was. So first of all, why do you ask if he was in the picture if he was with you? But anyway, so he was supposedly in the bathroom with her doing their thing. And she is basically so overprotective and will say anything that she needs to take care of Roca. He is the star football player. She is the daughter's coach, or the coach's daughter. So she's dating the star football player. And she said basically several times that she would do anything to basically keep that relationship, and she wouldn't let anyone or anything come in between it. And
or his success as the football player.
Yeah, or his success. She did confirm that Olivia was there when she came out. And she also said that she heard a scream. I'm thinking, I could be wrong, but if it's suicide, I guess you could want to change your mind at the last second and scream, but typically I would assume there would be no screaming, but they've all heard screaming. Anyway, is that all from her?
Yeah, she's asked, it's exposed during her interview that Jamie and her boyfriend Roca dated 3 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll go to Roca then.
Yeah.
You want to do Roca?
Sure. Johnny Roca, star football player, All-American, All-State, everything. He, in his interview, he basically outlines that, he says he was with his girlfriend in the bathroom, and that's why he missed the pep rally. He's very defensive about saying that they know that she was investigating some stuff, and possibly the theory is that what she's investigating is some illegal betting on games. And of course, we know he had that really bad game that night for the championship game. And he's very quick to be like, well, that doesn't mean that me and what's his name? I call him Ferrari. Joey Ferrari, the bookie, doesn't mean that we did anything wrong. And he's trying to jump straight to the point of being defensive about that.
So that brought Johnny into the interview, like his name, Johnny, really? That
brought him into it, and but we at least know that Joey was at the pep rally. He's in the photo, and he admits that they dated a few years ago. And when asked about whether or not he had anything going on with him, his response is, "Well, no, Sophie would kill me if she knew I was cheating."
Yeah, and then he retracted. Well, I didn't mean like.
Doesn't mean I am. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I haven't. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And I wanted to see what time. Oh, he didn't do a witness statement. So his interview
because he never went to the body.
Time taken 14:19. Hers was 14:04. So hers was before, his was after. So this was after they talked. Okay.
So her statement is that also when they heard Jamie fall and saw her body, that she went out to see what was going on, and that she told Johnny to go back to the pep rally
Yeah.
so he wouldn't get in trouble.
That was another
for being
thing.
in the girls' bathroom.
Well, okay, that was one thing. He said that they saw the body, so he went to the pep rally, whereas his girlfriend Sunday went to the body.
Mm-hmm.
He also said in his interview that he snuck around to the gym to join everybody there, to tell a few people what he had seen. But then in his written statement, he said, I ran back to the pep rally to alert others of what I had seen. So right there, he's kind of already messing up on his story.
Yeah, whether he ran back or snuck back in.
Yeah. I guess...
Now we've talked about Joey Ferrari.
Joey Ferrari, he was in the gym, so he's not a suspect, but his witness statement, basically, he is another reporter on the school newspaper. He is the bookie, supposed bookie. I didn't show you the face, did I? There you go, Joey Ferrari. And
He's
basically...
the one that says they're going to Atlantic City for the weekend.
Yeah, they said that him and Roca were going to Atlantic City over the holiday, the Thanksgiving holiday. He does have a key to the room. He is a senior. All the seniors have a key to the newsroom. He was the last one in the newsroom before Jamie. He said that he went there during first period. Now, in order to get... Basically, he had been signed out of study hall through a hall pass by one of the newspaper teacher and counselor. And this is what gets me. It says, so I let myself in and the door shut and automatically locked behind me. Then he goes back into what I thought was an interview. No. And then go back later and it says basically he left the window open because it was getting hot and stuffy in there. This was a job. This was like more than one. He left it open. Yeah. Anyway, he left the window open because it was getting hot and stuffy. Now he says Mr. Gedling, which is the newspaper teacher, yeah, I said that right, is really strict about us locking the door behind us. But it locked automatically when he came in, supposedly. So that kind of threw me off as well. And I don't know which computer this was on, so I'm gonna have to.
I'm assuming it's the same computer because he talks about the time it takes to start up.
Yeah, he was the one in there, didn't have time to shut it down. He saved his information on a floppy disk, if you guys remember those. Anyway, so he was on the computer on the right side of the room, second from the back.
So that one.
So it does look like it was the only one on, so.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say in the photos.
Yeah, it is kind of.
The screen's kind of all the same.
Okay, so maybe not. But also, in his written statement, the moron put, finally, I'd like to go on record with my prediction for the game tonight. Mind you, he's the bookie. And basically talks about the football game. And her...
And that they're going to lose.
Yeah, well...
Yeah,
I predict it's going to be a long night for the Spartans. Oh, yeah. And the Colts are going to walk away. Why the hell would you put that in the witness statement?
Their team is the Spartans, the Colts is the other town rival.
Yeah. But, okay,
Yeah.
that one. That's why I think it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, do this one or this one?
This is more of a connection. Yeah.
So do this one. Okay, this is the newspaper teacher / guidance counselor, the one that said that he has known the victim, Miss Banks, for 4 years throughout the entire high school. She had confirmed that she had mentioned suicide and mentioned, I don't know if I'm going to be able to say that with monetizing. I may have to edit that word out. Anyway, and bipolar, mental issues type stuff. What else?
He's the one that also had to go up to when the teachers get to the body, the principal sends everyone different jobs, different ways. And so she sends him up to the room because she saw from the ground floor that window was open. And he got to the room. The door was locked, so he said he didn't enter. He just stood guard at the door until the police got there.
But he has a key.
Yeah, but he said he didn't enter the room since it was locked because he didn't want to until the police got there.
So that was the one that was sent up there?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's kind of fishy too. Anyway, well, of course it is, because that's what they're made to do.
Yeah.
And then the principal, there really wasn't much on,
Yeah, the principal, she was at the pep rally when Romero came running in asking for help after he found Jamie. She went out and she did what principals do. She assigned everyone a task, had someone go call the police.
confirmed that the two girls were at the body already, and
yeah, so she just kind of verifies stuff. She obviously didn't see anything. She's the principal, so she knows who the students are, but she doesn't know the students. She didn't really seem to know Jamie at all.
Yeah.
When you talk to her,
Terrible
she just kind of knew who Jamie was, but that was about it. So not really much about her.
Okay, so your prediction?
My prediction is that when she left Olivia and said I had to go take care of something first, it's mentioned on, I don't know where the photo is anymore. Here we go. On the notepad that was found on Jamie's body that has the math, the bookie notes. She's got on there, lastly it says talk to Joey, not Johnny, but yeah. She has the scores written down, what I believe is a fumble count, talking about how many times he's probably going to fumble, which we know he fumbled 12 times. And then it says the last thing on there is talk to Joey, see what he says. I'm thinking she did that and that Johnny got wind of the conversation and that Johnny confronted her. And so I think Johnny is the one, that Johnny Rogo, the football player, I think he's the one that did it. And we've already established that Sophie, the girlfriend, said in a written statement, interrogation, everything, that basically she would lie for him and do anything to make sure that no one or nothing gets in the way of his success. And so I think that he was not in the girls' bathroom and that he's the one that did it, and that Sophie Sophie's trying to be his alibi.
I will go even a step further. I agree with that, but I also think that Joey opened the window for that purpose. So he is a accomplice. Also, it was mentioned in there that the students and teachers alike all bet. There we go, on the games and all that. And I lost my train of thought because I had to make the kids stop.
It's mentioned that students and teachers alike bet.
And he hid it basically. They knew it and just turned away and looked the other way. That's what it was.
We know it's wrong, but we pretty much just everyone knows he does it. They know it's wrong, and they all look the other way.
Oh, that's what so that's where he comes in. I think that it was a cover up as well. He's trying to cover it up because she has the suicidal thoughts, supposedly. We don't have her records or anything yet, and that was just a good cover up for it. That's my thought. I went a little step further. Okay, and we also have, I guess, the investigation report. She was last seen on the 3rd floor at 9:55 a.m. by Olivia, whatever her last name is. Yes, that's right here. Okay, and then it happened at 10:10 a.m. It did confirm that the speed trajectory type thing was basically, she came from the 6th floor. So that was that. All right. Now we can actually get into prove someone was in the room with Jamie. Oh, I don't know.
The objective is to prove someone was in the room with Jamie. We've gone through all of this.
I thought we were going to have this one. It was going to be
theories.
Okay.
The room was locked. The shoe was moved. Oh, okay. I think you did. The shoe was not there for the first
couple frames.
7 seconds. That's the only thing I can think of that would prove it which we can try to input that.
Yeah. Now, I've had so many people to ask questions that when we get something that we're putting in, we have to tell them. We're putting in this.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Which document on the list below proves Jamie was not alone when she fell?
So just one
It
document.
just wants one
Okay.
document.
So for objective A, we are first going to try this.
On here, it's just called security camera video frames printout. Which 2 frames are you looking at? Is the next question.
All right, so it is.
And it
2.
asks you by the seconds. So I'm
I guess
looking
this,
at
well, this one and this one.
10.
10, 10, 37 and 10, 10, 38. Correct.
Jamie was not alone. You can now open the envelope marked bonus envelope A.
I'm glad
Good
you
job.
said that because that
We
would have
are-
took forever.
We are on our 3rd one, and this is the first time that she found the first clue.
Hey, shut your mouth.
She has found clues. That's the first time she found the first clue.
All right.
I'll take
So,
partial credit for talking
objective
about the
one.
shoe immediately. But
Yeah. I mean, I've noticed the shoe,
Yeah.
but
I just thought it was funny. But
all right. So we have find the suspect who is lying. One of the 5 suspects lied about where they were on the day Jamie Banks died. Well, we got new information, so let's go over the information first. So what we have here is basically her obituary, basically stating who she was, that she, passed on November 20th, 1992. Now, as we always know, to check the back, doesn't seem anything right now that's relevant, but talks about some boy saving the life of someone, basically using CPR, and he's got an award. And the movie Aladdin, I think, came out or is coming out for the premiere, and they're running tickets, raffle tickets. So
the other thing is a letterhead of the National Foundation for Suicide Prevention, written to us, the investigators, by Jamie Banks' mother. Her husband passed away last month. Basically saddens her that he died thinking that his daughter very well committed suicide. She talks about, she remembers the funeral, and we had trouble wrapping our heads around both the police findings and what Dr. Gelding revealed about her mental state. We didn't even know she sought counseling. But at the funeral, at the gravesite, just after the burial, she remembers seeing Paul Preakness, the drama teacher, dropping to his knees and crying like a baby. Johnny Roca came back to town with Sophie and their children. And
so this is later.
this is quite a bit later, yeah. And then she says, Jamie's dad and I saw Olivia Underwood in an interview on TV just a few weeks before he passed. She's a big Hollywood star now. One of the 5 suspects lied about where they were on the day Jamie Banks died.
So we're gonna go with this one first.
See, that's what I lean for. So, okay.
So we're going to go for Johnny Roca, but we're going to go for the person of interest document, the blue document here.
This one has 3 questions.
Sheesh.
Answer 3 questions to prove you know which of the 5 suspects lied about their whereabouts the day Jamie died. Question 1. Which suspect lied about where they were that day? So we are going to say Johnny Roca. That is wrong.
Okay, so we're going to go for Sophie Sunday.
That is also wrong.
Okay, so it's not Johnny.
I'm going to go with Paul Preakness.
But I want to find out why. First. I want to find something first.
Yeah, that's what,
So objective 2, we put in, I have to go over these constantly because we put in these 2, Johnny Roca and Sophie Sunday. They were not for objective 2. So we're going to go for Mr. Preakness. But we got to find out why. It's not him? Would you stop it? Well, he cheated and went ahead. It's not him either.
I accidentally hit it. I was looking at
So now we got Olivia.
Olivia or Dr. Benjamin Gelding.
Oh, yeah.
Those are our only suspects left.
So you go over one, I go over the other. Get your thumb off of it. I don't want to cheat.
I'm not cheating.
He has no one to corroborate.
And
Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay.
He just says he went to the gym
When?
after he heard the sirens.
Oh, yeah. See, nobody is in the office with him. And he said, Craig Zimmerman, he didn't talk to him until first period, or he talked to him in first period. In
Second
the beginning.
period.
Oh, second.
Second period,
Oh, right
he
before
walked-
the bell rang.
He walked Craig back to his classroom.
And he was there about 5 minutes before. And then they stayed later because they were showing him all the stuff that they worked on.
Yeah.
And after I'd seen everything, the bell rang. So it's now 10 o'clock for third period to go to the pep rally. The students went to the pep rally and I returned to my office. I say him because there's nobody to confirm.
Yeah.
We'll try that, and then once it asks us the documents,
Yeah.
I mean,
We've
I
had to do
guess-
that on prior ones before too.
I guess it would be the glue. So we're gonna try, when I say him.
The answer is Dr. Benjamin Gedling.
Okay, so for objective 2,
Question 1.
question 1 is Dr. Gedling.
He lied about where he was.
Okay.
And then we are given 3 documents. Which of these items includes Gelding's lie?
Who's Mr. Sampson?
Mr. Sampson?
Yeah, he was in,
Mrs.
where's the
Sampson's
obit?
on the photo.
No, that was,
Obituary?
yeah, Sampson. Okay, it just doesn't matter for this objective, but the 5th floor girls' bathroom, okay. According to Mr. Sampson, it should be fully functional. Mrs. Sampson, his wife of 44 years, said that she and her husband, I don't know, but
Yeah.
hey, for later. Where did he talk to Mr. Zimmerman? Doesn't say. He says, I haven't met with him second period before the pep rally. He pulled me out of Mr. Martson's class to talk about the review, and together we came up with a plan. He says, yeah, well, of course, but I haven't been in that room talking about the newsroom all day. So where did he meet him?
In his office. Because here it says, let's back up. Were you alone in your office all morning?
So his statement is more detailed, his is less detailed.
I'm thinking about
So
that.
it'd be
I'm
this
leaning
the
towards
lie?
this would be where he lies.
Because it's more detailed and Zimmerman didn't say anything.
That's it. Yes.
That's correct?
During his interrogation. Okay, that's right.
Okay,
Gelding lied
so
during-
hang on. We picked for the second part of objective 2, it was Gedling's investigation or interrogation. We're assuming where Zimmerman's. Does it say?
According to this, the lie is in fact that he said he wasn't in the newsroom all day. So now the last question is, which 2 items from this list, that's a long list, prove that Gelding was in the newspaper room that day?
The investigative expose does not say Jamie. It says looks like Julia or something. And I don't see that.
Oh, in the photo?
Yeah. There's Dakota Sampson again.
That name.
Sampson. I don't know if it matters, but
Well, Dakota Sampson
the
is.
one that saved.
We took the photo.
No, that's Marilyn.
Oh. On this list, prove that Gelding was in the newspaper room that day.
Look at that. I mean, I don't know what it proves, but it does not say Jamie. It says J-U-L.
Investigative expose. It definitely doesn't say Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
Something Dakota saves Sampson. That's the headline.
Hold up. Wait. Dakota saves Sampson.
Yeah, see, this isn't dated.
This is lit. Oh, true. Damn it. But this is, okay, no. That happens before. This was the day of her accident. This is her obituary.
Mm-hmm.
So it came out after. So these 2 right here. He had already
This
been in there to
photo was
write.
taken November 20th, and that's the day of the incident?
Yeah.
At 11:02 a.m.
But you can't tell somebody died in an obituary until after they die. Dakota
But
saved
this-
Sampson. Happened Friday morning. they had already had that in there. So he was in there Friday morning. He had already wrote it on the board. Because it said it happened before. See, that's why I read it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Happened last week, just before school began, early Friday morning. He went in there and wrote
He
the
couldn't have wrote
chalkboard.
that on Thursday.
Right.
He could have wrote that on Thursday. Okay.
Okay, hold up. Did you get what I was saying? Okay.
No, they definitely, we haven't really highlighted that part. What you talked about?
I did talk about the back. Okay, so for the third question on Objective 2,
Second question.
the third question, right?
Oh, you're right. Third part.
Whew. Okay, third question on Objective 2. So on her obituary, on the back of it, it had talked about a guy named Dakota saving Mr. Sampson, and I've seen Sampson a bunch of places. And I ended up seeing it on the chalkboard on the last one that said Dakota saves Sampson. And I'm glad you saw saves, because I didn't get saves out of that, because that's why I went through. I was like, there's that dude again, Sampson. Okay, and he couldn't have wrote it on Thursday night like he said, because it happened early Friday morning. So these are the two pieces that we're going to use.
You may now open
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
bonus envelope B. It says Dr.
I knew
Gilman
that had to have
said he wasn't in the newspaper room all day, but he added a news story to the newspaper room chalkboard that happened that morning.
So we have another letter. What we have here is a letter from the principal. This is years later, and it's basically saying, don't waste your time looking into the doctor. He's a good guy, to the counselor. He's a good guy. He's so sweet. He stayed there with the students after dropping off Zimmerman's art class and took the time. He's all sweet. Just don't waste your time. Okay, so the question, objective is...
That's the only evidence?
That is the only evidence.
Okay.
Objective number 3 is convict the killer. In order to secure a conviction of the killer, you'll need additional evidence that directly connects the suspect to the crime. When you know who the killer is and have found the evidence needed to prove it, visit the page to verify your solution.
So we know that he was in the room. Doesn't know that he killed
We
him.
know he went there in the morning. And we know he had been there.
Right.
We don't know that he was there when she died.
Yeah. Sorry about that. We had to take a break and my camera was dying, so it's plugged in. I apologize if the audio is a little different because it messes it up with plugging in it in. Okay, so we were kind of talking about it while we were breaking. She was found with clay on her other foot, her right shoe, and the art class was working on a pottery exposition. Yeah, competition, exposition, whatever.
Expo.
And Dr. Gidling, per this letter, and his statement, he did drop off Zimmerman at the art class and stayed and basically praised all the work that was going on by the students, and that's as far as we got. We don't know how that would be a conviction.
Yeah, we're not sure. Like, we may just be going down a hole for no reason at all. But we're trying to think. The challenge is, it says, in order to secure a conviction, you'll need additional evidence that directly connects the suspect to the crime. So we were going down the road of, it's got to be something on her body, and we've looked at that photo of stuff in her pockets over and over again. So we went back to one of the document that basically talked about like what was on her and her clothes. And so the two things was there was paint on one of the shoes and clay. And so we're like, okay, well, while looking down the clay thing, it ties into the art class. So we're thinking that so far.
And Dr. Gidling, like we said, dropped Zimmerman off. Zimmerman was in the pep rally, so he wasn't involved. Paint
would tie in Paul Prickness.
Mr. Prickness, the drama teacher.
Because she had been helping him. But he didn't say he was, I don't think, was he repainting it?
He wasn't repainting, he was rebuilding it, repairing it.
He said the support structure fell apart.
Then that would mean sometimes you'd have to repaint.
Yeah, depending on how much it broke. we don't have a photo of the set. So.
I was in the auditorium fixing part of the Romeo and Juliet set. The balcony where Romeo calls up to Juliet had tipped over during our opening night performance, and the entire support structure collapsed. So it doesn't say, like, let's see
does
here.
interrogation go further?
Yeah, it does go further. I gotta find it though. Okay, we couldn't go. We had to fix an issue with the set before the next show on Saturday. I bet you it was her.
See, and that's where he said we, and then they asked him.
And it says we. Well, I was all by myself. All the students were at the rally. I didn't hear about what happened until Robert Romero came by. But
that wouldn't make
he didn't come by. He went into the pep rally.
Wait, what?
Because Robert Romero is the one that found Jamie's body and then went into the pep rally.
Robert came by and told me she had jumped. It was such a shock. Yeah, it's hard to say like how much time had passed.
That's not what happened.
That's weird.
And then he stayed into the gym because the kids were made to stay in the gym. He may have done it then.
Blue sneakers, white lace, a few small splatters of orange, yellow, and red latex house paint on the left shoe, and a smudge of clay on the heel of the right shoe. Which shoe was?
The right shoe was the one that was thrown down.
So
which
that
had
would
the clay.
have to play.
Yeah.
For Dr. Gelling. Question 1. Which of these documents holds an important clue that directly connects the killer to Jamie? We're thinking paint or clay. It's this.
Okay, we'll try it. Okay, so the third one was what would connect them. So we're going to try for the custody document when they said that she had smudge of clay on her right shoe, which was the shoe that was thrown over 7 seconds or how many ever seconds after the thing.
That is right.
That's
and
correct.
The highlighted answer is a smudge of clay
Smudge
on
of
the
clay.
heel of the right shoe.
Good job.
Question 2.
Okay.
I don't know how many questions there are. Which of these documents tells us where the clay could come from? That was here, what you found.
So this is the
And that's one of the options.
the Verona Voice, and it says the Pottery Olympics competition.
Yeah, Craig
And it's
is
only
in the
one?
room. Yeah,
Okay, so we'll try that.
yeah, the newspaper and the suicide note. So that's right, and
is
it
correct.
highlights what you just read. Better have to smooth that.
But it's not like it's
This
not
one-
plaid shut. It's
We've
like,
had some in the past where it's just like,
Oh yeah, we found
is
it. But this one's kind of
This
like we're
one's
guessing
kinda
in a
like-
way. We're not feeling confident completely about it.
We're connecting the dots after we already found the dot.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Which of these 5 documents? Okay, so it's still 1. 5 choices. Documents connects the killer to the clay on Jamie's foot, or the letter from the principal. That was my guess when we were
The clay.
saying
Yeah.
earlier.
So I'd say that one. Go with that one first.
Okay, we're going with
So-
the letter from the principal.
The last piece of evidence that we just got, and it
That's
is
right.
correct because
She states moments before Jamie died, he had stopped in the art class.
so it's Gidling.
And they said the art class was the one that was doing it. So now it says to check my answer. It says, congratulations, you've solved the bank case.
Oh, we solved it.
Great job. It's
The
who you
old-
thought-
The
as soon
old
as-
man.
We always, every time we start one of these, we look at the photos and we just try to decide who's going to be guilty.
Yeah.
And this was her choice from the get-go. There you go. I'm trying to make
That's the
it- there you
counselor,
go.
newsroom, the
The head of the newspaper, the counselor.
guy.
We
that
don't know
tried-
why yet. Maybe this
Well,
will
he's
tell us.
a big better, I'm almost certain, because he's the one that says we just kind of look the other way.
Yeah.
A big gambler, whatever. All right. Congratulations, detective. So we don't have to
What
do
you
it. There's nothing else to do. Sweet. Okay. So this is basically a witness statement from Joey Ferrari, which is weird later. And then voluntary statement. Okay, so we'll read it and then recap.
Mine's a voluntary statement written by Dr. Gedling,
Okay.
saying I did it and that he was having an affair with Jamie.
Yeah, mine said.
And
Like
he
I
went.
said.
He had asked Jamie to meet him in the newsroom while everyone else was at the pep rally. She thought it was to hook up. He was actually trying to break up with her because it was going to ruin his marriage, obviously, in his job. And
It did say that he had a marriage and 2 kids. They went to the play the night before.
And so she became upset and said that she was going to publish it in their school paper and shout it from the rooftops and scream it through the window.
That's what she was saying.
And that way, once the world knew, then they didn't have anything to hide. And so he says, he gave the scientific term, but then basically said in certain terms, I freaked out. And he just ran at her and pushed her through the window. And then he realized that he had stepped on her shoe. And that's how the clay got on the shoe. And he threw it out the window, which is why it showed up 7 seconds later. And he says, had it not been for my tour through the art class and my revision to the board, I would have gotten away with this. But
They always say that. Would have gotten away. So mine was a statement from Ferrari, basically saying this. I've said on this for decades. So we never get dates on these. That's kind of annoying. But he caught Wedling and Jamie Banks basically an affair. He went to the bathroom one day and then heard kissing and then heard his voice say something, and basically he kept it quiet because she had heard that he had heard that there was going to be an expose about all the gambling going on, and he didn't want anything to get basically kind of throw it off. He was going to use that against her basically if she came out with it, or she was going to come out with it, but she died. Basically, I know we were kind of built in on the whole gambling thing. They basically concocted the whole thing and cheated out of thousands of dollars and said that they cleaned up with over $100,000 cash and should have used it for college, but they went to Atlantic City instead for Thanksgiving break. So that's it. And this poor guy, I felt bad for him. I was giving him all kinds of judgment. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's it.
Yeah, we solved it.
Watch the video back if you don't. I went through every piece of evidence that we submitted into the questions. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Anything else? It was fun. This one is a little more like guesswork, more so than knowing.
This one doesn't jump out and just make it obvious. Because there's still 100 reasons why she could have had clay on her foot.
Yeah, and the paint and
the paint. So,
okay.
I don't feel like that's a slam dunk case.
I don't either. Except for the fact that he came out with it.
Yeah, until he comes out later.
Maybe they started questioning and they're like, fine, here's my written statement. So, okay. Well, again, if you liked this case or the cases that we've been doing, this one is from Unsolved Case Files. You can visit them online at unsolvedcasefiles.com.
This whole thing's a spoiler.
I put it in the video. So.
But this is the third one.
Yeah.
Everyone who watches these, we understand by now you're wanting the spoiler. Because
right?
you're getting stuck. It's usually the comments. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I will see you guys next time. Love you.
Bye.